Welcome to Goodwood and to Goodwoof 2023. In particular, to Barkitecture, the design competition for Kennels, which is open to architects and designers from around the globe. I'm really looking forward to seeing this year's entries, exploring some of the buildings here, and also sharing that experience with my co-judge, Winnie. Come on, girl! Yes! Yes! This building was designed by the great architect James Wyatt. It wasn't built for noble entertainment like his great Pantheon in Oxford Street. It wasn't built like his Radcliffe Observatory for gazing at celestial objects. No, this building was built for dogs. I'm sitting next to an object on the floor here, which might have landed from some distant galaxy where everything is made of exquisitely crafted wood and beautiful Alcantara leather. It's designed by Lord Norman Foster, and as you'd expect from his practice, it is an exquisite piece, not just of design, but of engineering as well. In fact, like one of his buildings, it's sort of faultless. You can't see how the thing is put together. You'd simply marvel at the kind of exquisite, almost marquetry quality inlay and the way in which it's been put together like a beautiful piece of cabinetry, a piece of furniture. These, I think they're cherry wood, these panels here, had to be individually fettled and slightly mitered before they were jointed, and it took, I think, 4 times as long to do as they thought it was going to. And the leather inside, which was stitched by a car upholstery expert, that went back to be redone, I think, 3 times. But such is the nature of perfection. And the really interesting thing about this project, I find, is that this kennel has been used. Dogs have sat in it, and yet it remains a beautiful piece of furniture. Barkitecture, by the way, has a nominal budget of £250 per kennel. It's a good job it's nominal, isn't it? Because I think this was a bit more expensive. There again, the price and the indulgence is justified. And it's justified by historical precedent because the building I'm sitting in was designed by James Wyatt as kennels for dogs. Not for humans, but for dogs. A beautiful piece of neoclassical architecture simply for his canine friends, with underfloor heating and every luxury imaginable gifted to them. They'd have been proud of this, wouldn't they? I do enjoy this wall. It's so whimsical, and it's entering a little private garden coming through here. You know?
Absolutely. Well, it was built as almost a bastion to the wonderful kennels, which were built by the 3rd Duke of Richmond in 1787.
1787?
1787.
So the house has got a really kind of bizarre checkered architectural history, hasn't it? Because the house is
like an amalgamation of lots of
so
different
much
styles
stuff,
and different
But this
periods.
is quite pure.
Yeah, absolutely. So this was designed by James Wyatt, with input with the 3rd Duke of Richmond.
Yeah.
There's a great quote which said that he dug the flint himself, he made the bricks himself. And
do we believe that?
Well, I'm not sure. But he was somebody who liked to get involved with things, and he had a real interest in architecture. So maybe.
But most importantly, the building is not really for human beings. It wasn't designed.
No, so this was to house the Duke of Richmond's hounds of the Charlton Hunt. And the 1st Duke of Richmond had come to Goodwood because of the hunting and to be close to the Charlton Hunt. And so this was built to act as an amazing, elaborate kennel for them.
This really was a kennel.
Yeah, it was a kennel.
Because I saw a drawing, and I think it might be in this building, and it shows this, and it's described as a sort of huntsman's lodge or something. I mean,
yeah.
Did it have different purposes? So
the central element of it was a house for the huntsman and also the hunt officer. But then on each wing you had 4 separate town lodges, which had areas for sleeping with straw and which were even heated.
So this had underfloor heating?
Well, no, it had, so at the side, on the inner walls of each side, next to the sleeping areas, it had these fantastic iron plates, which were then heated by hot water that came from the furnace in the feeding room.
Hang on a minute.
So,
18th century radiators.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely, and really early. So,
And they were used for providing a comfortable, warm environment for the dogs.
for the dog.
Just
It
for
was
the dogs.
all about the dog. It was all about, keeping the dog in luxury.
In my mind, it sort of reassesses the role of the dog.
Absolutely.
The place that hounds took in the lives of the aristocracy and in working lives as working creatures.
Absolutely. And I think it was quite characteristic of the Duke as well, because he loved his animals. Like, this wasn't the first building he built. He invested so much money in stables as well. So, he definitely prioritized his animals over his guests.
You know that thing of, as you approach a building, how it ought to get better as you get nearer to it. I've just noticed these they're not stones, they're coin flints. Are bigger and they're squared off.
They are squared off.
These are all very finely jointed. That's 4mm, 5mm. So all these bricks would have been, I guess, rubbed and carefully jointed.
And each one, specific for the location.
It's really interesting because often when you visit buildings which are built as not as follies but as objects in landscape, to be seen from a distance. Yeah. As you approach them, they disappoint almost. They're kind of.
But actually, this is even better.
Yeah.
Because you see all the little details. But it's so well set into the landscape. Like if you look from the house, I think it was designed to be looked at from the tapestry drawing room. Yeah. And it's in the centre of the tapestry drawing room, and then the wall being so sort of set into the landscape so that you don't see it, and it's sort of like a seamless pathway. Yeah.
And this is a different realm, and surprising. It's interesting looking at it with you because you're forced to kind of stop and admire and begin to sort of appreciate the quality of the detail.
Absolutely, and I also think you can really see the harmony of the building, and Wyatt was so interested in sort of the classical ideals of harmony and proportion and symmetry, and it's just completely perfect.
And yet many people will not come actually as close as this to appreciate just how kind of elegantly built it is, but it's quite something.
Absolutely, and it's the same the other side, so they're symmetrical. And what's fantastic is that when they did, because the attic windows are later, so they're 100 years later,
are they?
For accommodation for the policemen for the races.
Oh, they're the top story.
Yeah. But actually, they've mirrored it so well. Yeah.
I'm with you. It's kind of imperceptibly well done, that.
It is, because you don't notice. But if you see old photographs, you can see that it was a bit lower.
Yeah.
And also what's fun, it sort of makes it more elegant, is that it's built on two different levels. So this level at the front is lower down than the back. And that was to elongate it, to make it look more elegant.
Okay, yeah. Because I guess actually, given that there's a big height difference between the road and this land here, is they could sort of choose whichever. I mean, Wyatt could have chosen whichever point he wanted.
Yeah.
I know it was built for dogs, but honestly, it looks like it was constructed for giant humans. The height of these doors, So this is now a private members' club, isn't it? Or
Absolutely. So it was restored by the current Duke when he was Earl of March in the early 2000s, and
so quite recently.
Absolutely, very recently. And he restored all of it to the original proportions, and he was really interested in making it kind of very authentic and introducing lots of detail.
Minus the dogs.
Minus the dogs.
Although I think dogs are welcome, aren't they?
Dogs are very welcome. Dogs, you can bring all your dogs.
Hey, listen, I've got to talk which I've got to go and judge the Barkitecture stuff, which is all upstairs. Clemmie, thank you so much.
You're so welcome. It was lovely to meet
great
you.
to meet you.
It's great to take you around.
It's so enlightening. Thank you. Last year, the contest raised over £30,000. And this year, the final dog kennel designs will be auctioned to raise cash for the charity Pets as Therapy. And we've got the job to shortlist the competitors. And a select panel of judges, plus me and my favourite dog, Winnie, have the job of shortlisting the competitors for Barkitecture, presented by Mastercard. So, will we see another great design wins this year? I think this is going to be really tough because this is the entire long list, yeah?
Yep.
And we've got to select a short list. How many places are there?
14.
14?
Yeah. So we've got students and main architects, so we need to try and keep the numbers.
14?
18 in total.
Including the students?
Including the students.
Boy, oh boy. Now that the competition is in its second year, we might find a few more risks being taken, as with this unusual design.
Oh, the pressure.
Because I'm going to hand it over to you. The brief for this year is dogs at work. It's an important thing to mark the work of these dogs, a service dog working in the military.
Indeed. It's mobile and it's sort of self-supporting. It can
I love that.
drive under its own steam. It's got underfloor heating.
What?
Yeah, true. You don't even need thumbs.
It looks like you
Excellent.
could sit on that one.
I quite like an adult version of that. That'd be quite handy.
Yeah, yeah. So that's a nice one.
You can pack it all up and take it with you, or pop it under your desk at work.
I think this is very, very beautiful. I just know dogs like going in spaces like that.
Like to hide away.
Yeah.
I mean, that's quite a picture. Got lots of function.
Yeah, and originality. I think it is a very hard working.
So I suppose
Okay, so this becomes a kind of workstation stroke dog fun centre.
Exactly, keep your dog occupied. Oh, manner of crazy here.
Talking of cool, this is very, very constrained and very considered.
I still love it. I think it's still erring on the slightly mad side, which is good. I can actually see that at home.
I can see that in my home.
Close to owner.
Yeah, that kind of sort of share. I mean,
companionship.
That is nuts.
Yeah. I think, look, there's pictures of dogs in people's brains.
Oh, my
so
word.
It's a brilliant idea. Deployable also.
Oh, it's deployable.
Yes.
Brilliant. I love this design. All the dogs are going to get onto the chair.
Yep.
Where the humans are supposed to go.
Indeed.
And that leaves the humans having to climb into a hole.
So we need to choose what makes us smile. Some of them are sensational.
I know. It's shockingly good.
Side.
Yeah, that one, certainly, yeah. It seems we have our shortlist. So who's in and who's out? You can join us and see the final designs in the flesh and even make a bid to own one in the charity auction at Goodwood, the 20th and the 21st of May. Come and join us at Goodwood. How do you ask a dog which its favourite is? You just clear the tent.
Which one to go to first?
Let it go, see where it goes. Please do come and join us for an extraordinary, action-packed weekend of canine fun. That's Goodwood, the 20th and 21st of May this year. Good woof!